Imagine waking every day feeling like you're missing the single biggest opportunity of your life, not because it's hidden away in some far-off market or secretive club, but because it's sitting right there, in front of your eyes, invisible only because you're stuck playing by rules that don't apply anymore. Every professional investor, every leader, every person chasing the next level knows this gut-crushing frustration. You study, you analyze, you network, and still, the true gem, the unicorn that could explode your portfolio, your career, your entire legacy, slips through your fingers. It's a crushing feeling, like knowing there's a secret door in plain sight, but having the lock made of illusions, complacency, and noise. That reality is brutal, but real. This isn't a story about fantasy or pie-in-the-sky dreams. This is the heartbeat of every moment wasted chasing yesterday's winners, while the next revolution brews quietly at the edges. It's the story of the system that keeps you trapped, tells you to wait for permission, to follow the herd, to stick to comfort zones sold as safety nets, and in doing so, buries your fire under layers of false certainty. The world will always shout about rules, boxes, and roadmaps, but those are the chains disguised as guidance. This is why the rare, the bold, the relentless keep getting overlooked, because they refuse to blend in or settle for the obvious. The truth is, the next unicorn might already be knocking. Not from Silicon Valley, not from some glossy startup incubator, but from an overlooked corner, a misunderstood idea, a founder who's been too quiet because they're too busy creating instead of marketing. These hidden giants don't shout, they build. And once their time comes, they aren't just companies. They are movements, tidal waves that rewrite industries and redefine what's possible. But how do you find them before the rest of the world wakes up? How do you stop being one of those investors left holding yesterday's faded stock certificates after the real game starts? It starts with breaking the illusion. The first step is a ruthless rejection of the comfortable myths fed to you daily. Freedom isn't freedom when it's wrapped in rules that shape your thinking and your choices. Equality isn't equality when it's a conveyor belt pushing out more mediocrity, rewarding sameness, and punishing true greatness. The system tells you to play safe, to stay small, to follow trends, all while the real power anchors itself where others refuse to look, at the rebellious edges where brilliance lives untamed. Stop waiting for permission. Stop thinking the best ideas come from the old maps or big headlines. The future belongs to those who have the courage to rewrite the playbook, to question everything, to sift noise from signals, to build alliances not with the many, but with the few who burn brightly in their own fire. This isn't just investing. This is a hunt for the extraordinary, the rare, the unrealized potentials that no algorithm has yet tamed. You can't find the next unicorn by following patterns. Patterns are cages. Look instead for fractures in the market, for founders who contradict the status quo, for ventures that seem too wild, too different, too risky for the crowd. Those are the sparks waiting to ignite. Dig into sectors that are too niche, too new, or too misunderstood. The next big thing often breeds in darkness because it challenges convenience and conformity. Your job is to pierce through the noise, to connect dots others missed, to trust the instincts that tell you this is not merely a gamble, but the alignment of fate and opportunity. When unlocking this hidden potential, it's crucial to build more than a transactional portfolio. Build networks of trust with founders who share your hunger for change. Seek partners who think beyond quarterly gains and buzzwords. This is about co-creating the future with those who refuse to settle, who would rather burn than bend, who know that transforming reality takes patience and unyielding will. When you start thinking in terms of shared missions, fierce alignment, and long-term transformation, your investments stop being blind throws and become powerful collaborations. Be selective with your time and money. The temptation to chase every hot startup or follow mass hype is the biggest trap. True game changers don't do the obvious. They thrive in selective ecosystems where every connection amplifies your reach and depth. Creating a web of complementary skills, ideas, and visions is your shield against the diluted noise of the market. It's also the engine that can turn an under-the-radar project into a groundbreaking phenomenon. Remember, the power doesn't lie where the crowd gathers. It lies where the rare few connect deeply. Patience is not just a virtue in this game, it's your secret weapon. The system pushes for fast returns and instant validation because it profits from superficial engagement. But the genuine disruptors, the unicorns in waiting, need time to break out, to grow roots deep enough to shake foundations. Eternal winners play the long game. They build resilience, iterate relentlessly, and weather the cycles because they're not just chasing profits, they are creating meaning. Align with that mindset if you want to catch lightning before it blinds everyone else. You don't need to be bound by national borders, old systems, or outdated labels to find these opportunities. The digital age shatters those walls, and so should your investment mindset. Look globally, think radically, and act sovereignly. Opportunities aren't confined by geography. They're defined by vision, drive, and the refusal to accept the status quo. When others look at barriers, you see gateways. The future belongs to those who understand that we're not defined by the boxes we live in, but by the networks, ideas, and power we create beyond them. In this overwhelming world of data, noise, and endless advice, your edge will come from stripping everything down to its essence. What really matters? Where is real value being created? Who has the grit to challenge conventions and the skill to deliver undeniable results? Answering these questions demands brutal clarity, critical skepticism, and relentless focus. It's not about chasing trends. It's about recognizing sparks of transformation long before they light up the sky. This kind of vision reshapes reality because it refuses to accept the world as it is. It dares to imagine what it could become. You must also understand that the hunt for unicorns isn't just about companies or fast money. It's about unleashing the power of exceptional individuals, the inventors, the founders, the unrecognized geniuses suffering in isolation because the system wasn't built for them. These people carry the seeds of revolution, but need the right support, the right networks, the right investors who don't just fund, but empower and connect. Your role shifts from passive observer to active builder, partnering in a movement that transcends profit and embraces transformation. Investing in this new paradigm isn't easy. It demands your fire, your will, and your refusal to conform. It requires stepping away from the herd and embracing the messy, uncertain edges. You'll face doubt, ridicule, and pressure to play safe. But the rewards are profound, not just financial wealth, but the deep satisfaction of being part of something that changes the game forever. It's about leaving behind the tired illusions of comfort and stepping fully into the raw, untamed power of your own potential. This is not a call for everyone. It's a call for those rare few driven by more than money. Those with the silent burning tension inside that whispers, "You are meant for more." For you, the world's illusions will no longer bind your vision. You will see beyond flags, titles, and comfort zones to the fractured edges where the new unicorns dwell. You will find not just companies, but entire ecosystems, entire futures, forging themselves from misalignment into pure, explosive synergy. This is the moment where being different is not a handicap, but your greatest asset. When isolation means you're closer to the truth than the crowd ever will be. When every rejected idea, every too radical vision becomes a gold mine for those who dare to listen. The system forgot the rare because it was never designed for greatness, for revolution. It was only designed for reproduction of the comfortable. You are the glitch in the matrix, the breaker of chains, the enabler of futures that others can only dream about. So, look around. What or who has everyone overlooked? What corner of the world holds a founder working in silence because they don't fit anywhere else? What idea feels too risky, too future, too wild to be believed by the masses? That is your target. That is where your next unicorn waits. Not hidden behind secret doors, but naked in plain sight, waiting for those with the vision and courage to claim it. This is your path forward. Cut through the noise, reject false freedom, connect fiercely with the rare, and invest with the patience and clarity to outlast the crowd. Become not just an investor, but a liberator of talent, a builder of new realities, a spark that sets off the next great wave. The next unicorn isn't just a company, it's a revolution, and it's waiting for those who refuse to be ordinary. The clock is ticking. The world will keep chasing the obvious until it's swallowed whole by the extraordinary. Don't wait for the world to catch up. Step into the edge now and be the one who sees what no one else does. Because in the quiet, in the unseen, in the rejected, the next unicorn isn't just hiding, it's preparing to change everything. And when it breaks loose, it will reward those who dared to believe, to see, and to act first. This is more than investing. This is unleashing the future. The question isn't if you will find the next unicorn. It's if you are ready to become the one who finds it.